So this is our fourth little movie on this boy's life, and this one's called The Logic of the Story, in which we examine his critique of himself.
So I think we've come far enough that we can, talk about what I take to be the logic of the story as relates to, character education. And, here we go. It's that deficits in characters of real competence, relatedness, and autonomy. Those deficits lead to the creation of fantasies about competence, relatedness, and autonomy. If you don't have them, you are very prone to fake them because you want to have value and you want to have self-respect, and you can either earn that self-respect by doing good things, and if that is somehow blocked to you, you can appear to deserve respect from others and feel good about yourself that way. So that then leads to a shift in goal away from actually having real competence, relatedness, and autonomy to merely appearing to have them. And that shift is a disastrous shift in somebody's life, and it happens all the time. You see it everywhere, and it's brutal. And I would argue then that character, the ability to actually get stuff done in the world, gets displaced by personality, which is we're defining as the aspect of self that is performance based, that it's trying to win other people's approval as the chief leader of the self, and that causes people to be performers rather than doers. And I would argue it happens to a lot of characters in this book, Jack and Dwight in particular. And there's lots of quotations here that I think show that. And I'll just lay them out. I'm not going to talk about them all. It would take too long to read them all and talk about them all. But there's just one that I would like to highlight, and that's what 2/3 of the way through the book or so, where Jack has had that car accident, and he's walking on the road, and he says, my footsteps were loud on the roadway. I heard them as if they came from somebody else. The movement of my legs began to feel foreign to me, and then the rest of my body foreign and unconvincing, as if I were only pretending to be someone. I watched this body clomp along. I was outside it, watching it without belief. Its imitation of purpose seemed absurd and frightening. I did not know what it was or what was watching it so anxiously from so far away. And so I take that to be, the best evidence, the best passage in the book where Jack actually gets what's going on, right? He's like, oh my God, I'm a pretender. And my whole life is a sham. I'm not after meaning. I'm after the facsimile of meaning. I'm not after purpose. I'm after somebody thinking I have purpose. And that's terrifying to Jack. But again, he's not in a position to easily reverse that. And the tough work that would be required to pull himself up by his own bootstraps, he doesn't have that in him, at least at that age. And, he goes on with his shenanigans. So takeaways. What is Jack's most basic problem in the novel? What is Jack's main way of coping with his most basic problem? Why is Jack's main way of coping with his problem detrimental to Jack, at least in the short run? What scene clearly shows that Jack is himself disgusted with his own way of coping with his problem? Articulate his critique of himself. Have you ever had such a moment when you looked at yourself and were disgusted by the play actor you saw? How did you react? What should someone do who has such an experience?